Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And I do think that moving forward, there's more opportunities for us to do things like this. And really, at the end of the day, it's about the fans. And I think the fans want to see it. And it gives us a way to sort of explore maybe some different stories and different ideas and use the medium in a different way than it's been used thus far.
Hey, Rock Boy, you can't blame me because I came on to talk to you guys while Edward was on Sill's show, but he just showed up in the nick of time. So here's Edward, okay, Rock Boy? And also, yeah, this is for you.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and yes, I was on Sill's show, so that's why I'm a bit late. Welcome to Small Screen Stories. I hope you guys are doing well. We've got this big piece to talk to you about today, the Ray Fisher piece in the Hollywood Reporter. But before that, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. If you could hit that like button and really get us going, that'd be great as well. So we're gonna...
Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
That is just for you.
If you blame it on me again, Rock Boy, I'm going to ban you. No, I'm just joking.
Don't piss off the producer. Whatever you do, I'm scared of him.
Stop whining.
Right. So yeah, you can follow us every on Small Screen Co. And yeah, let's just get into all of this. So first off, let's go over the comments. Dan Zig says, Edward, you've heard of the saying, couldn't organize a piss up in a brewery, right? Classic Warner Brothers failing upwards. Exactly. Great English saying there, Dan. I do know that. And I'm starting a new drinking game every time I hear a bad Warner Brothers idea. I take a shot. You know what? You'll get drunk very quickly. I hope you guys are all doing well. Kazax is in the chat, of course. He wants some cocainum. Jedi Master EJ is in the chat, so I hope you're doing well as well. Soul Macker was there before, but because I kept on pushing this back, he's probably not here anymore. And hello to Rock Boy. I hope you're well. I didn't oversleep. I was doing another show, which ran over a bit. And Dan says he misses the clips on Sill's show. Sill's actually starting to bring in some more clips, so he's obviously taken some ideas. There you go. There's one of them. He's taken some ideas from producer James. And Corey is in the chat as well. Hi, Corey. What's up, guys? And Solmac is still here. Brilliant. It's nice to...
Wait! There's more!
There's more. Right. What's going on? What is going on? What's happening? Well, Ray Fisher's been talking a lot about basically saying, you know, stuff's going to come out. I'm gonna release stuff. You're gonna hear some rather explosive stuff. And today, the Hollywood Reporter released a pretty explosive article. It was written by Kim Masters, and Kim Masters is she's been in the business for a long time. She regularly writes for the Hollywood Reporter. She's someone that you can trust. She's a brilliant journalist. I really like her work, actually. I think she's great. And this was a long chat that she had with Ray Fisher. Now, because I'm going to be a bit short on time today because it is 11 o'clock at night where I am.
Wow.
Oh, I know. Wow. These shows do tend to go on and on and on and on. But I want to give you the main information out of this article. And that's that really Ray Fisher doesn't believe that people at Warner Brothers are suited for leadership. So specifically, I suppose at the time, he's talking about three people. He's really talking about Geoff Johns, Jon Berg. Joss Whedon is a key person in this article. I believe he's talking a bit about Walter Hamada and also Toby Emmerich. So I know that's more than three people, but I think the main three people in this article that are referenced in this article are Jon Berg, Geoff Johns, and Joss Whedon. And it's pretty well documented that Joss Whedon was a complete and utter asshole on set of 2017's Justice League. He was and is the biggest arsehole in Hollywood. And the stuff that happened that he says in this article is just awful. It's literally it was a toxic work environment, and he makes that very clear. And he's not the only one that had problems with Joss Whedon. Everyone on set had problems with Joss Whedon. Jason Momoa had problems with Joss Whedon. Gal Gadot had problems with Joss Whedon, and that was pretty. She made that pretty obvious. Said that she went to Toby Emmerich, straight to Toby Emmerich to complain about Joss, and then they sorted everything out. So it's honestly, sorry, Kazakh says. Oh, man. Kazakh said today we learned that Joss is actually a good man and not a racist, and a top writer, athlete, director. Yeah, I can sense the irony there. But honestly, Joss is a complete douchebag. Yes, you're right. I can still can't say your name. I am terribly sorry. Sassafras. Yeah, I can't say it quickly. So it's bad. It's bad. All the stuff that comes out of this article, like a lot of people are asking about this investigation that was done into Warner Brothers, and actually specifically, Warner Media said that they had taken remedial action against as a result of the investigation against some people, but they haven't actually revealed who. And then it's all this is stuff that we know about that is actually in the article, and that's been pretty much public for quite some time now. But I want to get to the stuff that we don't know about. So I want to get to the stuff about the here we go. I should have probably done this before. It's such a long article, and I've read it so many times now that here we go. So stuff mainly about what happens after Zach left. So Zach leaves, and then filming started with Joss Whedon, and then basically, Ray Fisher said he had to explain some of the most basic points of what would be offensive to the black community. But Joss Whedon didn't want any notes. This is something that he made very clear. He was not. Everyone seemed to be tiptoeing around Joss Whedon specifically. I think.
What?
Yeah, what it was for them.
Just so everyone knows, this is the first time hearing about this article, by the way. So
yeah, it's just
get ready for a lot of surprise clips.
I know. So basically, they didn't want to piss Joss off. They thought it was a massive coup having Joss involved in this movie, because of course he came from Marvel. He directed the first two Avengers movies. There were massive problems on the second Avengers film on set. That is well reported as well. But basically, Joss Whedon ended up cutting everything out of Ray Fisher, out of Victor Stone's backstory. So he cut out everything that's in the Snyder Cut, basically involving Cyborg, and that was one of the things that actually Ray Fisher had a lot of input with Zack Snyder and Chris Terry when they wrote the original screenplay, and it looked like Joss just wanted to completely throw all of that stuff out, and he apparently sent around an email asking for questions, comments, or fulsome praise. But Fisher says it became clear all he was looking for was fulsome praise, and then he basically this was after
You son of a bitch.
yeah, this is after having read the revised script. He said all he was looking for was fulsome praise, and then trying to strike a jocular tone, Fisher responded that he mourns the loss of the Cyborg material, but was moving on. He said he had notes. He said he had notes to avoid issues in terms of representation of the character, but in a call with Whedon, Fisher said he barely started to talk when the filmmaker cut him off and said, "It feels like I'm taking notes right now, and I don't like taking notes from anybody, not even Robert Downey Jr." And he went on. Other sources went on to say that Whedon was similarly dismissive of Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa when they questioned their new lines. Whedon, of course, declined to comment on this piece. Of course, he did. But it's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers that anyone would go into a project like this. Anyone that has a shred of decency and be like, "No, I'm not taking any notes. I don't want any notes. Everything I've done is perfect." The ego on this man is insane. And I hope he never works again, because if you read this article in full, it's a long read, but do, because it really does go in like, here we go. This is a quote that I really do think is very important here as to how people really see Joss Whedon and at Warner Brothers at the time. They did not want to make him mad. They said, so Geoff Johns Fisher turned to Geoff Johns for help, and John said, "We can't make Joss mad." And this is, Joss is publicist Howard Bragman, who honestly doesn't come out well out of this. Howard Bragman denies that John said any of that. But we won't go into what the publicist said, because honestly, it's just absolutely horrendous what some of the stuff he comes up with. It's bizarre. It really is. The bottom line is that Joss Whedon wanted to make a more jovial film, one with literally, in this article, Ray Fisher said he was told to smile more. Someone is literally turned into a robot, loses his mother and father, and then he is told in this story to smile more. Really? And there's a whole bunch of nonsense about the catchphrase "booyah," which I'll go into in a second. So, honestly, Joss Whedon, the master thespian of our time. Seriously. So Johns told Fisher he should play the character less like Frankenstein and more like a kind-hearted Quasimodo, because that's what you want.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's so messed up. This whole thing.
You want to do a lightning catch up with these comments? I'll bring them up.
Let's go ahead.
Seconds of each thought. Let's
go ahead. Go on, bring them up. So the most impressive thing in that article was that Whedon could quote Hamlet. Now, I did say in the show with Syl that I actually think it's quite offensive that he would quote Hamlet. I don't think Hamlet should be uttered by such a terrible and annoying person as him. He, of course, did make much to do about nothing, and he is honestly. That couldn't be more apt that he made that movie. Joss Whedon should stay blacklisted from Hollywood and shouldn't be allowed near a film set ever again. I completely agree with you, Ranish. I think he's done after this article. I think he's done. I think he was pretty much already done. He did get a Batgirl after doing Justice League. He got fired from that, and then he got fired from his HBO show, The Nevers. So, people know now what he's really like. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not going to work again.
Would you say he got gunned?
He did get... And justice served. That's such a bum. Yeah. That's very good, Corey. What else do we have? We have that James guy's no worries. Made something for you. I think Syl and Mikey are coming onto the stream. Mikey has a scoop for small screen. James, if you could organize that, let's get them in.
Yeah, I did ask him. I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
We can talk to them. Kazakhs just laughs. I hope Kazakhs just sits there laughing at this show constantly. And and people love the clips. Of course, people love the clips. That's why we've got the producer involved. He's a brilliant producer and is very good at clips. Why Joss Whedon was kicked out of Marvel Studios? Yeah, he basically was. He basically was kicked out of Marvel Studios. A lot of it was, he claimed that it was because he wasn't allowed to do what he wanted to do. There was no creative freedom for him. Blah blah blah. Yeah, cry me a river, Joss. Honestly, they were trying to build a big multi, like they were trying to build a franchise, and he wasn't really playing ball. John McIntyre says Joss Whedon is a Shakespeare Karen. Oh man, that's so good. Yes, he is. He is a Karen. He really is a Shakespeare Karen. What else do we have? Kazakh just laughing, of course. Laughing to John McIntyre. The Warner Brothers execs are idiots for hiring that fat creep. You are right. You are right. I love some of the words you guys use in this. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. Got some great comments. What's an arse? Put straight to the point. Whedon is a see you next Tuesday. Whedon has always been overrated. The man is not Christopher Nolan, never will be. Yeah, facts. Let's say that. And then do we have some other ones, James, that you want to bring up? At the moment, he's not bringing up anything. Here we go. The Up Down 7. Let's be real. An actor with no credits or clout giving notes on a Hollywood blockbuster is not going to be well received. That's how the business works. Okay, right. But what about three white men deciding what to do with a black character? There is something to be said there. And the fact that Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio, who has written many pretty good movies, and one I think Oscar nominated film actually in was the Ben Affleck film he did.
Yeah.
So, and they went specifically to Ray Fisher to ask him to
Argo.
Yeah, it was Argo. Yeah, to ask him for input on the character. You know, that's what. And this with Joss Whedon is all about input on the character, and everything that Joss Whedon brought in to that movie. Let's be honest, the Up Down 7 was shit. And I really do say, I don't usually swear that much. Apparently, I swear quite well, but it was a pile of crap.
Yeah.
Like I've recommended this video before, but do go when you have the time. Go over to Red Letter Media and watch their review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. They do a kind of comparison between the scenes added in Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it is absolutely insane. The jokes are terrible. The ones that Joss Whedon brought in are terrible. He won't work again. He won't work again in Hollywood. Looks like Warner Brothers gave the keys to James Gunn the same way they did with Whedon, both weirdos. I don't think James Gunn is going to be working with Warner Brothers again, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I presume you're talking about James Gunn's tweets early on in his career. Yeah, they're pretty weird. I'm going to say they're really weird. Don't make Joss angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. Yeah, he'll go all reds and get even fatter. Cyborg in the Justice League Nightmare scene did have an air of Quasimodo, though. Wonder if it was done on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe. People in the comments not liking James Gunn, apparently. The fact that Geoff Johns is a non-filmmaking guy got into Warner Brothers is astonishing. Yeah, he's a comic book writer. That's what he did. He wrote comic books and then has written a couple of scripts. And actually, again, it is one of the reasons why Suicide Squad, the tone of Suicide Squad was changed, and why we've never seen David Ayer's Suicide Squad, unfortunately. Okay, Sil show is done. Hey, why can't I do a super chat here?
Subscribe. Subscribe, Sax God. Everyone subscribe. Get us to 1,000 subs, and then you'll be able to. Yeah, you got to
subscribe. So the only way we can get super chats, start getting super chats, is if we get over 1,000 subscribers. We are getting there. We are working towards it. DLW, what's up, Edward? What's up to you? I'm here strictly for James interrupting. Sorry, Edward. I saw that.
Do request.
I did see that over on early on. Sorry, I want to give Edward money because I love small screen. That's very nice. The Sax God. I saw you on Sil stream earlier commenting. Thank you very much. That's very kind. And he does also say I love James Gunn, so that's good. I do love James Gunn as well. I think he's a really good.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yeah, we did. And what else? The Quasimodo thing is stupid. It's not offensive. It's a comic book writer trying to explain direction to an inexperienced actor. The whole interaction is suspect. Now, I get that there are people that don't really care for Ray Fisher, but let's be honest here. Asking someone to play, literally, the character is called Victor Stone, like Victor, Frankenstein, and it makes more sense to play him more like Frankenstein's monster than a kind-hearted Quasimodo. If you take in the story aspect of this, and I do think that's important to take into account. And I understand why people want to question Ray Fisher. I do, because the way it's been done is it's a lot of information here and there, and I will give that to you. I honestly think he did go about it probably in the wrong way, but then again, I do wonder how much he was really allowed to say. And what you have to remember here is he is literally nuking his own career by going against Warner Brothers the way he is. So I don't think anyone in that position, it's literally your first major role in a blockbuster. If you didn't feel that strongly that you were wronged, you would not do this. Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa are in completely different situations to him, because they are, unfortunately, they are bigger stars than he is. And and they will probably be listened to more by executives like Toby Emmerich. It sounds to me like Toby Emmerich didn't really give Ray Fisher the time nor day, and that's a bit of a shame, really. It's a bit of a shame. Do you think we'll hear stories about this about his time on the Avengers? I think eventually we will. Eventually, people will start to come out and actually reveal what it was really like working with Joss Whedon. I think I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it, but I think. Chris Hemsworth actually already said something about working with Joss Whedon, like he wouldn't want to work with him again, or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think someone might have already said something about him. maybe kind of DLW is just laughing. That's good. Yeah, it was Argo. Everyone's saying I remembered it was Argo. He won the Academy Award. Yes, he did. And DC Talk with Extended is here. What's up, Edward and James? That's nice. What's up, Edward and James? Because it is a joint effort, this show, and I really do have to give props to James for waking up and producing the show.
Yeah, give me props for waking up. That's like the least amount of work I can do.
Dude, honestly, I didn't wake up in time for the previous, not the last one, but the one before, the Super Team Megaforce. I did sleep through the beginning of that, so you know, it's a thing having to wake up for it.
Welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am not Edward Lauder.
Exactly.
What did you want to say about the bottom of the article you said?
Yeah, so basically I think
the main, in the comments.
Yeah, the main thing about this article that you should take away from it is there are two things. There's the fact that Joss Whedon is terrible, but there's also this line. I don't believe I think you can see it. I hope you can see it. So this last paragraph, I don't believe some of these people are fit for positions of leadership, says Fisher, who explains he's not looking for anyone to be fired. I don't want them excommunicated from Hollywood, but I don't think they should be in charge of the hiring and firing of other people. Fisher knows he's not going to win that battle, but he feels a point has been made. If I can't get accountability, he says, at least I can make people aware of who they're dealing with. And honestly, I mean, at least I can make people aware of who they're dealing with, and these people aren't fit for leadership. That is massive. That is a big thing to say. So I suppose he is talking mainly about people like Toby Emmerich, Geoff Johns, Walter Hamada. He doesn't mention Ansanoff in this article. Ansanoff isn't mentioned, but Ansanoff was the one that spoke to Variety and basically put an end to the Snyderverse, and also said that Ray Fisher was offered a role in Cyborg and in the Flash as Cyborg, but apparently that's kind of a bit weird. He said before things had gone sour, Fisher was expected to play a supporting role as Cyborg in the planned movie The Flash. In June 2020, Fisher says he has a call with director Andy Muschietti that seemed positive, but the discussion hit a snag when Warner's framed a 2-week shoot as a cameo, offering only a fraction of what Fisher says he should have been paid for reappearing as Cyborg. By late September, he was upset by press reports that he was demanding to double his pay. So basically, they offered him a cameo role, and then they offered him a fraction of the price that he was originally offered. So that's not really offering him a role in the movie. That's just saying, well, let's appease you and let you have a cameo in the movie.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yes, it is that. What are you talking about, man? No, but that's what happened. So, and this goes back to the Ansanoff interview in Variety, where she says, no, Walter Hamada did offer Ray a part in The Flash. He offered him a bit part in a movie that was originally billed as a Flash and Cyborg team-up film, let's be honest. And it's what Marvel does all the time. They always bring in other characters from the MCU into these movies. It looked like they were going to do the same thing with The Flash. And then all this went sour with Ray Fisher, and then he ended up getting a cameo role, a 2-week shoot as a cameo. So a 2-week shoot actually is not, it's actually quite a long time to be shooting a blockbuster, really. Like it doesn't seem like that long, but usually you'll be shooting it for a couple of months. But 2 weeks is a bit more than a cameo. A cameo is like a couple of days. Like a 2-week shoot is, that'll be 14 days, maybe take off 4 for the weekend. So yeah, 10 days of shooting. It's not nothing, and it should be a bit more than a cameo. It should be I suppose it's a guest appearance as a cameo, but a supporting role at the least.
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
All right, let's do a quick lightning round. Catch up again where Mikey drops in.
Yeah. Go ahead. What are the questions or the comments? I love James Gunn. We all love James Gunn. I think a lot of people love James.
I love James Gunn.
James Gunn. I don't know who James Gunn is. James Gunn rocks. Yeah, unless you get gunned. The bearded peanut, Joss Whedon. That's brilliant. Joss Whedon, the moron of the day. I think the moron of the year, moron of the decade, more like. DLW is already subscribed. Thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. And the Sax God is subscribed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Kazax is just spending this whole stream laughing, man. Honestly, that's great. What else do we have?
He deserves a cocainium.
He deserves a cocainium going. Are you going to do it? You can't find the clue.
Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Cocainum.
What else do we have? How do you think AT&T are going to react to this expose? Will there be any real consequences at Warner Media / Warner Brothers? Honestly, the first thing I think is going to happen is that I think someone will leave. And I think the first person on that list will probably be Walter Hamada, in the sense that I don't think they're not going to extend his contract in 2023. At least I don't think they will. I don't think Ansanov will leave. Toby Emmerich was involved in all of this, really, so really he should be leaving. But then again, they don't really have anyone to take his place at the moment.
Wish I held onto a little piece of that thing, because the buzz is any indicator, that movie's going to make some huge bank.
What buzz?
The internet buzz.
What the fuck is the internet?
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
Yeah, that's literally that's a real clip from inside of Warner Media with Ben Affleck trying to explain to Ansanov and Walter Hamada what the internet is. It's not. He's been the victim of a smear campaign by Warner Brothers. So yeah, Ray Fisher, I think you're talking about. Yes, he really has. Walter, the fake Feige, Hamada, and Mr. Justice. Yeah, you are right. Who else do we have in the comments? Subscribe to Small Screen because they have Arnie clips and Arnie is in Total Recall. That's awesome. If you could,
you're fired.
You can subscribe to Small Screen because you like me as well, guys. You know. What else do we have in the comments?
It's showtime.
Warner Brothers and the moron Toby Emmerich. Yeah, you guys don't like these guys. Ed had a dream almost like a premonition. Oh man, you guys are hilarious. Seriously, is this show going to just be going through the clips? So Warner Brothers hired Joss after he was fired from Marvel. Well, he wasn't technically fired. That's the thing. He made two very, very successful films for Marvel, and Warner Brothers are literally obsessed with being their DCEU being more like the MCU. So they literally brought in the person that they thought would help them do that. That was everything they were trying to do.
Can I take this one?
Yeah, go on.
All right. Sax God says, I keep saying it's telling when Avengers and other Marvel actors came to James Gunn defense, but didn't come to Joss Whedon defense.
Totally.
Well, I can't speak for Disney or anything, but I think James Gunn, he addressed what he did, and I'm not condoning any of his actions, but this is just from my observation. He addressed what he did numerous times before it hit the media. And so Disney quietly said, okay, we're going to fire you. We're going to wait for the Fox merger to go through so we can acquire Fox. And then once we acquire Fox and nothing ruffles those feathers, then we can hire you back. And I think that was the deal. And in the meantime, he went to go play in WB's
in the sandpit.
WB's sandbox. Yeah,
you're totally right.
Thanks, Rock Boy.
Oh, seriously, James, you're just bringing up comments about yourself, man.
What? Do you remember last show you were ignoring all the comments unless it said your name in it?
No, I wasn't. That's a lie. You lie. You lie.
Oh, do I have to?
No.
There's
Sir
so
Edward is
many
like
clips.
Bat thirst.
Hey, Mikey.
Mikey's here. How are you doing, Mikey?
I just want to say that I subscribe to Small Screen because I want to see Edward in his Captain Britain costume.
Oh man.
Oh man! You know what I want? Samad's a good friend of mine. He wants me to release the small screen cut. Man, I hope that this is the small screen cut. Samad's. There's no. I do have a producer involved, but he seems to be okay with everything I do.
No.
Dude, I'm the Joss Whedon of this shit.
Nope.
You do what I say, man.
But where's the Simon cut? I want to see the Simon cut.
Put that cookie down!
Right. Well, I suppose. I mean, I've been going through this article. Now it feels like I've been going through it for hours, which I think I have actually.
You probably have. I think
I
you
have.
did.
So there's a lot of stuff in this article. Go and read it. I'm going to remove the article from here though because it's taking up all our lovely faces or whatever. There's only my face.
I'm just here with Supergirl. That's all.
And Kazak's like, Ed B, I swear this is my yeah. No, it's the James cut. Mikey, how are you doing, Mikey? We were talking early on Soul Show.
Been busy all day ever since this article hit this morning.
Yeah.
I had all these text messages. I'm like, man, I haven't even eaten breakfast yet, And Phil's like, what do you think of the article? Like, what? I haven't eaten breakfast yet,
Mikey!
So much craziness going on. And while you were talking, I got some text messages again. I'm like, oh my God, this is never ending.
Man, they're still texting you. Let's give the context of this. Because
it's Warner Brothers, man. It is. Yeah. I was talking to a guy today, and he said, I really wish I was working for Lucasfilm instead. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I know people. I know people that have done exactly that.
That's actually a true story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will give context to the stories that you were talking to someone at Warner Brothers earlier today.
Yeah.
And they told you not to go on Sill's show.
Yeah, he told me not to go on there and discuss.
What?
Actually, and after you left, I dropped something else.
Yeah.
After the New Gods was canceled, which the announcement came on Still Night We're Live on the air, that took both of us off guard.
Yes.
I found a report later that night that it was AT&T that made the decision to cut both projects off.
Of course they did.
And you're a scooper, you know this. So when you talk to people, sometimes they might ask you to hold off on something or leave something out. Or this one was like, if you can get this out as soon as you can, that would be great. Like exactly as I say it, I'm like, okay. And it was pretty unusual request. I don't usually hear that. But I forgot all about it because, so much happens during a day now. Like, it's all a blur. Like, and then so I found out why I was asked to say that. And Walter Hamada wanted to make sure that people knew that this was not his decision to make.
Mm.
And he couldn't say it to the press or, make a statement about it. But if there's any way of getting it out there, that he was not a part of this. First of all,
and I do think that moving
he didn't want either of them to be canceled. The Trench was dear to his heart.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And the New Gods, again, was something that he looked forward to as a big, epic, billion-dollar-plus franchise.
Yeah.
But he was very... he didn't want to have it be related to accusations of racism because of the director involved.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to get his name to be thrown into the mud, like, oh, you canceled this film from a person of color, and tie it in with Ray Fisher. He didn't want it to have anything to do with that. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. Part of it is also because he wanted the film to get made anyway. But I was told, make sure you stress that it was AT&T's decision. It is true, it was their decision to make.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with race. They just felt that from a financial perspective, it makes much more sense to spin off New Gods from a property that people are watching right now.
Okay.
And the Snyder Cut. And so instead of like, hey, this is a new Dark Side, nothing to do with what you've seen already.
Yeah.
And so it was just that, but it was really interesting the fact that he is very, very concerned about a lot of the Ray Fisher things that are coming out right now.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that over on Still Show as well.
Yeah. And
so
this is a part of it.
Yeah, they're just being really reactionary again. So they're planning out all these projects with more diverse characters and casts and things like that, and it is going to be. I mean, I suppose in the long run it might be a good thing, but it's not in the sense that it's that they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they are.
Really what's coming out of that. Yeah,
and I think people can see right through it though. That's the problem.
Yeah, they can. I mean, you did say on Still Show that that actually J.J. Abrams does have a love for the version of Superman that he wants to put on the big screen.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure his reasons for making this movie are pure. I hope. Yeah, they'll be full of mystery boxes.
No, yeah, they are definitely pure. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way that the executives greenlit the project and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they want to get as much of their investment into JJ as possible. But what I'm hearing, I'm not sure if you were still around when I told Sil this. They feel that JJ is going to be the savior of DC films.
Yeah, no, I wasn't there when you said that. But I can understand that being the case. Yeah.
What?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something right.
They feel that JJ is the franchise savior of, Star Trek.
Well, let's hope they're right. Yeah.
In Star Wars, so we'll forget about Into Darkness. We'll forget about Rise of Skywalker, I guess. But
so let's have a look at the comments. See what
let's. Edward, you do one, then Mikey, you answer one. So go back and forth.
Sure.
So is AT&T responsible for this riding tide against Warner Brothers? I wouldn't say they're responsible for it. What I'll say is they aren't helping it by not really saying anything and not really doing anything. So one thing they really need to do is actually take a decision, bring in some people or fire some people, do something, so you're seen as actually being in control of the situation. At the moment, they don't. They just seem like they're not doing anything. And here you go. This is for you, Mikey. So Gunn and Russo brothers would have been infinitely better than Whedon if they wanted someone from the MCU to help DC. What do you reckon?
Here's you mean in terms of like a Kevin Feige type, or?
Well, yeah,
as a director, I think.
Yeah,
but I guess Whedon was cheaper.
Yeah, well, yeah, who knows? I don't think Whedon would have been cheaper than the Russo brothers at that point, or Gunn. Actually, I think Whedon would have been the most expensive one.
Yeah, Russo is super busy. They're super busy with projects already. They would.
Yeah. So DC is trying to be Marvel. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Carbon copying the competition is a bad business. Yes, it is. Coke aren't trying to be like Pepsi. If Warner Brothers execs can't make a good business decision, what's the point of them? Yeah, honestly, what you are.
I love this question.
You are right.
I love it.
You speak sense. You write sense.
Win-win situation.
But here's the thing, though. Hamada and Emmerich, they feel they are making good business decisions.
Yeah, well, they're not.
They're clearly not, but it's delusions of grandeur.
One thing I didn't say this about the article. So there's a whole bit in the article about Booyah, about Ray Fisher's Cyborg saying Booyah, and this is specifically for James because I know you haven't read the article yet. Here's what Berg says. This is Jon Berg. This is one of the most expensive movies Warner's has ever made. It's literally now one of the most expensive superhero movies ever made. It's ridiculous. They've spent more money on this movie than any other superhero movie. What if the CEO of if you put all the money together, what if the CEO of AT&T has a son or a daughter, and the son or daughter wants Cyborg to say "Booyah" in the movie, and we don't and we don't have a take of that? I would lose my job. So he ended up saying "Booyah" in the movie, and that day it just sounded horrible. So this again is for you, James. So on the day that he went in to film that scene, Whedon stretched out his arms and said a line from Hamlet in a mocking tone: "Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you." Fisher replied, "Josh, don't. I'm just not in the mood." As he left the set after saying that one phrase for the cameras, he says, Whedon called out, "Nice work, Ray." What do you think about that?
The hell with you.
The hell with you.
The hell you will. Who the hell are you?
Perfect reaction, James. Honestly, I did a whole bit on Sil's show about how the words of Shakespeare should never be uttered from a person like Joss Whedon's mouth, because he's just not worthy. And
I agree.
It does seem as though at the moment, to echo another Shakespeare phrase, now is the winter of AT&T's discontent, because I don't think AT&T is very happy with what's going on at Warner Media.
I need to get like a crowd applauding clip for you just for that. That's what.
Yeah, I know my Shakespeare.
Well, it's much ado about nothing, right?
Yeah, it really. Well, made that joke before, but yeah, it really is. And it's just ironic that Joss Whedon made that movie, made a version of that film. So Carl Dawson said subbed again for the third time. Don't know how you did that, but thank you very much. If you're subbing and unsubbing and then resubbing again, that's not helping. But if you're subbing 3 times, then have it open on 3 different computers. So we get the hits. Kieran Bug, James is slowly becoming a comedic icon. James, you're just picking out the ones that make you look good, man.
Yeah.
AT&T is not pleased, but they're not going to be helicopter parents in public. So
no, they don't really want to be too involved, and they're hoping that Warner Brothers can solve this out themselves. Tim Tapp is in the comments. Says they need to focus on getting their infrastructure in order, tell good, honest stories. What the PR will sort itself out. You are right, but then again, the PR over at Warner Brothers is terrible. Like they seem to have really poor PR people involved. That's why one of my articles on Inside the Chaos at Warner Media, I put PR experts in quotation marks, because they are not experts in PR. They're experts in just promoting disaster. So will this article have any effect on Warner Brothers? So the Hollywood Reporter one, I hope it does. I really hope it does. I don't know if it will. What do you think, Mikey?
Oh, well, we were discussing this earlier. Walter Hamada has no future at DC Films.
Yeah.
It's a question of when.
It's rather when than if. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more than more. Yeah, exactly. It's more of a when. He's got really, what has he proven himself with so far? I mean, he didn't want Joker to get made, so.
No, he didn't, and I mean that's well documented that they deliberately gave Todd Phillips a very low budget because they thought he wouldn't be able to make it for that much.
He just kind of stumbled on it, he got lucky, and.
Yeah, exactly, and they lucked into most things. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you look at Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 84 was not well received.
No. Well, I personally thought Birds of Prey was all right. I thought it was fine as a comic book film. I thought Suicide Squad was awful.
That was terrible. That was
a genuinely terrible film. If you're going to compare Suicide Squad to Birds of Prey is a much better film.
Well, that I agree with you there, and really. My issues with the film are just the fact that it's not really the comic book. I mean, if I look at it as a film by itself, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But just from a fanboy perspective, I just feel that it just wasn't that. Again, why should I expect faithfulness to roots in DC films anyway?
Yeah. Oh man, seriously. Who else do we have? Well, I don't know what that means, Argus, but thank you for commenting and thank you for bringing that up, James. Mikey gives me hope. We still getting Owlman, right? Yeah, we're getting Owlman. Owlman's probably still happening apparently at the moment. I bet you like in a month or two we'll hear that's been cancelled as well. Tutlani says, I hope I said that right. Jason Kilar is known for firing people. What's his whole view on this? He must be pissed. I think he's pissed. Yes, you're right. Actually, he is known for firing a lot of people. Whether or not he'll fire any of the executives, I don't know. I think it's more they'll just let their contracts run out. I think someone earlier said that Zack Snyder should be put in charge, and I think that's an option. I don't think they'll do it. The idea of having Jim Lee and Zack Snyder at the top and really doing everything DC Films related, to me sounds much better and much more inviting than having Walter Hamada and his bad robot universe, his Hamadaverse, and his Hamada burgers.
Well, I forgot you weren't around when Sil and I discussed this, but Walter Hamada was really hoping that Geoff Johns would be his Kevin Feige creative right-hand man. because he knows nothing about comic books. Hamada doesn't know anything. Given his position, it's really ironic, but what would you expect from Warner Brothers to hire somebody? He's a fiscal conservative. It's all about budgets with him, and that's why he likes the trench so much. It's horror. That's his natural element.
Yeah.
It's low budget horror. He knows that, front and back. But he was hoping that Geoff Johns would be, hey, how do we put this together? And the fact that Johns is not aboard, he's completely lost. And that's why he likes the multiverse so much. Let the directors decide what they want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, JJ, what do you want to do? Hey, go ahead, go for it. It's your idea.
I mean, okay. Jedi Master EJ says, "Lol, Hamada stealing Zach's steaks to make more burgers." I mean, yeah. It's, do you have the HamadaBurger.com clip, James, to put up? Because that's a good one.
Hamada Burger. On today's episode, we have a contest from HamadaBurger.com. Organically sourced, 100% BS. Enter to win a Hamada Burger t-shirt or mug. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment your preference of a tea or mug. Bonus points for suggesting a menu item. HamadaBurger.com. You'll like it because we told you to. Hamada Burger.
Hey, James, I'm seeing your Hamada Burger on several different YouTube channels now.
It's not mine. I don't know who did that. I just promote it. What are you talking about?
Randomly, people are talking about that site. And just like I'm randomly watching a YouTube channel, like all of a sudden, let's just talk about Hamada Burgers. I'm like, what the hell?
It's taking off. Whoever started that is a genius. Let's just say that here. Like, seriously.
We just thrown out. I was on Phil's show. I was on your show, right? When I threw out Hamada, I was on your show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
You had to eat your Hamada burgers instead of Snyderverse. So it just really caught on. It's hilarious. But now I'm seeing people discussing that site. I'm like, who did this?
So Dan Zig says classic Warner Brothers. This whole thing is classic Warner Brothers. Like, it is classic Warner Brothers. Whether or not anything will change, I don't think it will. I'm going to be honest. I think they tried changing things and they literally just replaced certain people with the same sort of people. It's just it's a revolving door of the same sort of people coming in, going out, and it's just never ever going to stop at Warner Brothers. And Corey says, smash that like button. If you could smash that like button, if you're watching, we've got 83 people watching. How many likes do we have at the moment? Let's check that, because you got to check that these days. We've got 30 likes. We've got 31. So if you are liking this and you're watching this, please like. That'd be really wonderful.
Subscribe.
We've got 2 dislikes. So I think there is someone in the chat that doesn't like what we're saying.
That's a rite of passage.
Yeah. Yes, here it is. The Up Down 7. I feel like you guys are being willfully ignorant about how Hollywood works. It's rich people saying stupid things to get other slightly less rich people to do stupid things.
Well, you're not wrong, but that's not all there is to it.
I mean, yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're not wrong, but there is a degree of of planning that comes into these sorts of things. They want to make money, and the best way to make money is by being relatively coherent in your strategy. And at the moment, Warner Brothers is just not very coherent, and it's a problem at the top. And this article with Ray Fisher makes that very, very clear. That there are a lot of problems going on inside Warner Brothers. They're not very. They're desperately trying to make themselves look kind of woke, let's say, and they're just not. I mean, there's a load of stuff about Geoff Johns in there that's just dreadful, and a lot of it comes directly from his rep, so it's just hilarious. But these.
Thank you. We got 10 more likes. Appreciate that.
Oh, brilliant. So did anyone else catch Gal's comments about Wonder Woman's aggressiveness level? Gal is very much on the same page as Patty about Wonder Woman. People keep on missing that. You're totally right. So a lot of this comes down to the fact that Joss made her more aggressive in his version of Justice League. And when you watch, it really does, it becomes even more obvious when you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was more of a continuation of the character from Wonder Woman. And it's something that Gal Gadot was very annoyed with when she was doing the reshoots, and she's made that very clear. What do you think about that, Mikey?
Hold on, Edward. Keep talking because I just got something. I guess something in my inbox here.
Oh dear. All right, I'll keep on talking. John McIntyre says right now AT&T are deadbeat parents, and the kids the kids at Warner Brothers are setting the house on fire. Oh God, you are right. You are right. The
Kazakh is dead. He's dead on about this. I thought this was a nice subtle thing in there. But you want to go on about that comment? Sorry, go ahead.
No, about this comment. So The Boys season 2 referenced Joss rewrite and got a scene with the director beating A-Train, black superhero. Yeah, you're right. That was in season 2. If you haven't watched The Boys season 2, you should really watch it. It's a fabulous show. And again, that was a very kind of meta moment, and it was a reference to Joss Whedon, and that they made that pretty clear.
Cocaine.
That's the original clip.
That's the original clip. Oh dear. So Boo Harley Quinn film didn't know what kind of film it wanted to be. Come on. No, you're right, Sax God. You are right. There's an element of that film that is not. That film's not a brilliant film. Let's be honest. It's not a great film. I never said it was a great film. I just said I enjoyed it better than Suicide Squad. How bad do things have to get before either AT&T has to step in completely, or do they do an overhaul of the Warner Brothers execs?
Well, Sharma, there's a really good article on Small Screen about that right now that Edward wrote last week.
Yeah, and I will go into certain aspects of it. One of the main problems with AT&T, well, not AT&T, but they're a parent company. So parent companies very rarely step in. They bought Warner Brothers and bunch of other properties and then put them all together and created Warner Media. So one of the problems with Warner Brothers is it's just a little part of Warner Media, which is like HBO Max, TNT, a load of other things all put into one. And that company, Warner Media, is not working well as a company because there are just too many egos and too many people involved and too many companies involved. So one thing AT&T can do is actually try and break up what's going on. But the thing is, ultimately, they just really, all they care about is HBO Max. That's all they care about. Warner Brothers at the moment is an afterthought. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see AT&T put HBO Max more in charge of movies moving forward, DC Comics movies. We already know that two DC Comics films are being released on HBO Max per year, and that's just HBO Max exclusives. So that to me is proof that AT&T is relying and focusing more on HBO Max rather than Warner Brothers Pictures. And I think Warner Brothers Pictures is probably realizing this fact and might be a bit panicked by it. And I think the pandemic also is a reason here as well, is people, companies are seeing direct-to-consumer as being more viable in the future as opposed to releasing things in cinemas.
I agree with you there. I really think HBO Max is going to take center stage.
Yeah.
Above Warner Brothers Pictures. It really... AT&T, that's their baby.
Yeah, well, AT&T really care about HBO Max, and that's one of the reasons why they bought Warner Media or Time Warner at the time.
Yeah. And Warner Brothers hasn't been the same in years.
It hasn't been. No, it hasn't been. It's been in disarray for years now, and unless they can bring in somebody, and they were hoping that Hamada was going to be that person, and before that they were hoping it was going to be Geoff Johns, but it's just these people have proven to be pretty inept and. Just haven't been able to do the job they were hired for, unfortunately.
Well, I was talking to Matt Jarbo the other day, and he said that Warner Brothers was once his favorite film studio. was once his favorite film studio, and same here. I used to love Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Warner Brothers made some of the best. I mean, they made the Dark Knight trilogy. So
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Yeah, Warner Brothers movie.
Mad Max, Road Warrior. I mean, just so many great movies.
They were a prestige Hollywood studio for decades and decades, and they just kind of, I don't know, all these regime changes and promoting people and demoting people just didn't help in the last 6 years.
And
it kind of went downhill at the same time DC Comics went downhill too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Warner Brothers in the 70s and 80s, they were still a very good company. They were the best, in my opinion, the best film studio around.
And here we go. Arthur Musi says, "I'm so sad for the actor who's going to play Owlman." I hope I'm not going to be cast as Owlman. I hope that's not my role.
How do we know it's an hour man and an hour girl?
Yeah, I know. Go into that one again. By the beard of Zeus, I love that name. I'd rather have a steak from the Snyder food truck parks in the Hamada Burger lots rather than the actual Hamada Burger. I would,
and I do think that moving forward,
there are Snyder Cuts steaks available at Hamada Burger. So if you like a good steak, the air cut's been it's no longer available, unfortunately. What else do you have? I just liked now. Thank you, Sax God. Thank you for liking. Share it as well if you could. We're really asking a lot from you now. At this point, Warner Brothers executives are rearranging the chairs on the desk at the Titanic, and one of them's playing the violin.
Danzig, that's the quote of the year, Danzig. That's brilliant.
Again, you're brilliant at these things. FP is liked and subscribed. Thank you very much, FP. Who else do we have in the comments before I should go because it's late for me? Cocainum. Should we end on a cocainum, James?
We get to stay awake. Cocainum.
Mikey's got to drop his scoop first, right, Mikey?
Are you going to drop your scoop?
Should I drop it now, James?
What's that?
Should I drop it now already, or?
I know people in the comments are asking.
Okay. If you can drop it, then do. If you can't, then
I mean, I can do it. I mean, I can easily.
Mikey.
Pew 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 pew.
I guess that's my cue.
Yeah, that is your cue. Go ahead.
So DC Films wants J.J. Abrams to direct the Justice League multiverse picture.
Whoa.
And they feel that JJ is again the franchise savior, and what I'm hearing is that this is based on Grant Morrison's Multiversity, which I had no idea about until people pointed it out to me. Well, you just described sounds like Multiversity. Like, turns out it is. But of course, JJ will have, if JJ does it, because they don't even know he'll do it yet. They want him to. They feel that JJ is the one who can create a $1 billion Justice League movie with the new direction of DC Films, and they want this film to spin off from his Superman film, which means Calvin Ellis will be the leader of the team. And so here's the thing. So they are a team, but not really a team, which means they get together for this one film because they're all from different universes. So they get together. Okay.
So are they trying to do more of an MCU type thing and actually introduce these characters in other movies? Because it sounds like I think you said something before about Sasha Kaye. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She's going to be introduced as Supergirl in The Flash. And then they're going to introduce a load of other characters in other movies probably before this Justice League film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are going to do it the MCU way that way, but at the same time, there's no storyline that's going to thread through their films. Though they're just
there's no Thanos or anything like that. No kind of Infinity Stone.
No, not at all. No, Hamada wouldn't. No, he's
okay. Well, that
first.
Yeah, that kind of goes against what Ansanoff was saying. Was that they were trying to make a more connected universe.
Well, okay.
So we are in the process, having many conversations with.
Yeah, it's great. It's great spin control. What she's saying about connected is that the director's movies will connect with their TV spin-offs.
Okay.
Like the Batman will connect to Matt Reeves' Gotham show.
Okay.
But they're not going to connect to one another. Like JJ's show won't connect with, his Justice League Dark won't connect with Gotham, won't connect with Green Lantern. They're set in different universes. But let's say Edward Lauder. Let's say you're directing the Our Man show. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for giving me that one.
You're directing Our Man. Edward Lauder has started to direct Our Man. And so Walter
worst comic book movie ever.
Walter Hamada is so happy with what you're doing, and he feels so strongly about it. He's doing a spin-off show called Our Girl. So Our Girl TV show will connect with Our Man, the movie. They won't connect with James Simon's Ambush Bug movie.
Okay.
So, that's how.
Of course.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, this does not sound like something I want. This is a
so anyway,
that I do
so
not
how do you feel about that? J.J. Abrams directing Justice League
Not good.
You know?
Not good.
Yeah. So
Welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am not Edward Lauder.
Hey, whenever you appear on my show, so
Welcome, Phil. You're here just in time for the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just here to keep Edward from going to sleep. That's why I said that.
so just to fill in, I dropped the J.J. Abrams Justice League movie. I haven't dropped the other one yet, so.
4 hours.
We'll save that one.
4 hours.
But
let's do a fire in the comments quick.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that quick.
Special brew in 4 hours.
Our man where justice takes its time. Screw up Star Yeah, they got the guys screwed up Star Wars. What a win! Yeah, that's a win. And Hamada Burger's in the chat, guys. Insane. Hamada Burger. Yeah. DLW says J.J. Abrams Crisis Multiverse Justice League by J.J. Abrams. How did you spell? Is that multiverse? I can't read it. Too late for me now.
Multivariate.
Okay, you should do this more than me.
I'm getting a Carrie flashback from Danzig's comment there from the original Carrie.
Danzig always comes up with the best comments. I've got to say.
That's a great one.
I'm going to cry in the shower and curl up into a ball.
This is rough, man.
So maybe we get Snyder's Justice League versus JJ's Justice League.
No, win that one.
A JJ League. Hey, there's your JJ League. JJ League. There you go.
JJ League.
Ding, 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 ding.
Again with an arbitrary $1 billion goal mark. Yeah, that's what this is all about. That's all they care about. Jar Jar Abrams, the destroyer of franchises. Oh, brilliant stuff, guys. Do you have another one for us, James? I'm saddened.
This is rough, man.
Hamada Burger's back in the chat. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse so I can just go making hamburgers, Hamada Burgers for the rest of my life. You do that, Hamada. What else do we? Is that it, James? What do you think?
There was a comment from Rajneesh. I can't find it here, but he was saying that a lot of people have been writing articles. Yeah, right here. I've seen articles flat out saying not so fast on streaming services. GVK might have made the old way of theatrical releases more important than previously thought. Doesn't Netflix have 200 mil? Yeah, there's 2 words for you, Steve. It's called clickbait.
Yeah.
But, Netflix does have 200 million subscribers plus. Disney Plus has almost, not almost that, but they're getting very close in a very short space of time. Again, the way I think the best Justice League Dawn of the lens flare. the best way to look at this is to actually look at Disney's investors presentation that was last year in 2020, where they hyped up direct to consumer more than anything else.
Yeah,
like they are all seeing this as the future now. And I know for a fact we have actually one of the writers for Small Screen is an independent cinema owner. And he is very worried because his business, he's like, I'm going to go out of business. He hasn't been open now for over a year. So, and it's, and after this, getting people into cinemas. I mean, we all know that we will be going to cinemas. I will.
Right.
I'd rather.
We're hardcore.
Yeah, exactly. But the majority of people, if things are available on streaming, they'll probably just watch them at home.
I mean, and people here to pump the brakes on the Godzilla vs. Kong narrative. They only made 30 million domestically, as far as in the States. That's not breaking the box office there. I mean, that's great pandemic wise, and it's giving us hope, because I want the theaters, but let's not get this confused. 30 million is not a lot for as far as American, the States box office. So people need to pump the brakes on that.
And also, from what I've seen, there are 2 kinds of people who go to the movies still, and that's film nerds like us. And people who are dating, right? I mean, where else you can take your girl? I mean, that's kind of neutral. But I think people are just going to stay at home.
Museum.
Yeah, well, there you go. We'll stick it to a Hamada Burger joint,
Yeah, but you are right. That also, how many people watched Godzilla? was it Godzilla versus Kong? I was forgetting which one was first. On HBO Max in the US, it was quite a lot, wasn't it? It was 3.8 million.
Well, I mean, there's no straight number. I think Samba TV said they tracked like over 3 million households.
Yes,
that watched it. Godzilla vs Kong, like kaiju, like that's a huge franchise, so it had to do well.
Oh yeah, it's a brand new film too. I mean,
and it's not 4 hours long as well, which
exactly.
Well. Yeah.
But Warner, man, they're jumping all over themselves to get them. Like Warner is jumping all over themselves to get the news about how well that did.
We knew there was going to be a hit.
Everywhere.
It's barely a Warner Brothers film.
Yeah,
right. It's more legendary than should be Batman films.
So it's
but it's not Snyder Cut. It's not Snyder Cut.
right.
I mean,
make sure you forget about Snyder Cut. So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh well, cuts of Snyder and Ayer are coming in soon. I hope the Ayer steak is coming in soon. The Ayer cut steak. I'd like a bit of that. That sounds nice. Arthur Mussey says, "I would love it if Hamada got fired and they still do the Hour Man movie and there's a scene where he eats a Hamada burger."
Oh my goodness, that needs to happen.
That will literally only happen if James ends up writing that
movie. You do realize that if we see anybody in a DC film eating a hamburger, we're all going to laugh at the theater.
That's a wrap.
We won't be able to contain ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What else? Should we wrap up with the last few comments? Any news on Snyder Cut numbers? Nothing so far.
You're not going to see the numbers. I'm just saying. You're going to see subscriber numbers from AT&T, but streamers don't. They follow the Netflix model. There was a video on Self-Do Inc. I talked about that, but Netflix don't normally. They set the standard not to put streamers out numbers because they don't want to be judged like per program. They want you to binge everything, not worry about the Nielsen ratings and all that stuff. So you're not going to see Snyder Cut's numbers, but just know I think it's successful, and AT&T will let us know. I think. I
actually have an article about. Zack Snyder's Justice League release in China that's coming out in a bit, and that is eye-opening. Seriously, I finally was in contact with Fiona.
Oh, great!
Awesome.
And also some other people I know that live in China and are journalists. And
when are you going to print that?
That's coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
That's coming out tomorrow. So look out for that one. It's going to be a long one. And I do apologize. Not as long as the Hollywood Reporter article.
Well, at this point, it's probably easier to find Zack Snyder's phone number than it is to find the numbers for the Snyder Cut.
Yes. We still haven't found it, though. We have been looking for his number to get him on the show. We haven't found it yet.
Ask Fiona.
Hey, Zach, you want a Hamada burger? Just to see the reaction out of space,
FP says, how much has HBO Max made off the Snyder Cut? Is it a success?
Yeah.
Listen to Arnie. It's been a success. Yeah. The numbers speak for themselves. There are numbers out there that you can find, and they're all pretty good for Zack Snyder's Justice
engagement numbers. And this is a rated R film, so people got to keep for it to be on par with PG-13 popcorn movies. It's pretty major what it's doing.
Yeah, and sorry, I need to. Okay, go on. Rajnish says, is there a legitimate reason why HBO Max is holding the Zack Snyder's Justice League subscriber numbers back, or is there a real conspiracy of Warner Brothers saving their own egotistical asses? It's a combination of both. I think. Like they kind of don't really release numbers at the moment because it's still quite new. But they should do, and they will do for other things in the future.
Once that becomes a norm, like box office standings was for the last couple decades, then it will become for streaming services. But right now, they're trying to get away with the fact that they don't have to release numbers, so they can pick who they release and who doesn't release. Sil and I were talking about this last week, right? So
right. And Investors Day, like I said, AT&T's every Investors Day they have updated their subscriber numbers. Because they like to put it together, HBO Max with original HBO. So technically that's 40 million, supposedly. So they're going to pump that up on the 22nd.
And Steve Segura said
that one, I can answer that. I can say read the article tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll tell you now. It's like literally, I could not find any legitimate information on whether Zack Snyder's Justice League had been released in China or not. There will be some legitimate information tomorrow.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Right. Tutlani. I can never say his name. I'm really sorry about Tutlani.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Toby Emmerich thoughts dropping Godzilla vs. Kong close to Snyder Cut would overshine. Close to Snyder Cut would overshine. However, that just helped Snyder heavily. If you think, yeah. Well, basically, they dropped it close to the Snyder Cut too. Yeah. That is the main reason why they dropped it so close.
Hey, GVK is a hit. It's like it shouldn't be about Snyder Cut versus GV. Like there's going to be a hit regardless.
Yeah, exactly. A huge hit. That film's $1 billion movie if the theaters were open right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, if these were theatrical releases, they wouldn't have released them so close together because they wouldn't have wanted them kind of overlapping their box office numbers. That they did this. They could have waited to release Godzilla vs. Kong. They could have pushed it back, but then I suppose they've got Suicide Squad coming out in a bit. But that's not for a while. That's not.
Plus, Legendary wasn't playing it either. I think Legendary was like, "Don't mess with this movie anymore."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Legendary probably had a bit more of a say than we know about that.
They're still fighting to get Dune off of HBO Max, so that's a whole.
Oh, I hope they do. I just want to see that in cinemas. I really do, because Warner Brothers are pussies. And shall we end the show there?
Great way to end it. Great way to end it. Like Steph said.
All right, we got PD1 viewers, 45 likes. Hit that like button, please.
Yeah, hit that like,
subscribe, because we're not shitting in.
I'm not shitting on you.
I'm not shitting on you. No. Hit that like button. Hit it
now.
now.
For Danzig, Double J.
I want to hear Amber Heard say that in her English accent.
Oh my God.
FP, welcome. All you regulars. Keep talking over each other.
That's not Michael Caine. Go over there and hit the fucking like button. All right, you hit it now. You motherfucking hit the fucking like. I just told you to hit the motherfucking like button. So you gotta do it right now. Do it. Oh man. I'm not going to Barry.
Cocainum.
I told you to hit the like button. You
Nope.